This is Jackson.
So please welcome Micheala Jae Rodriguez.
Hello, everybody.
Hey, so we got Rodriguez to Rodriguez. You know, I'm sure we have family together
I was about
somewhere.
to say, you might be my cousin. You might be my extended cousin, child.
So singing is not new to you, but this is your debut single, Something to Say. It's kind of naked putting the song out. It's not singing in a role. It's not somebody else's script. It's all you. What was that spark that inspired you to say, now is the time for the single?
You know, I felt like we had just came off of a beautiful run of a show that not only incorporated the life of LGBTQI individuals, but it incorporated obviously amazing, amazing,
A grazing grace.
a grazing
grace.
How sweet. No, but it really had just a beautiful, like, dramatic feel to the show. Obviously, it was a drama, and not to mention it incorporated music. And when we ended on third season, I was just like, "Oh, work! This is a perfect time for people to see the person outside of Blanca and inside of MJ, which is Micheala Jae." So, yeah, I wanted people to really see what I have to offer as an artist and what I have to say as an artist, which is the song Something to Say.
It's a complete bop, and I absolutely love it. And it's fun to listen to, and it gets you moving, like, from the very first notes. But there's some powerful words in here. It's not just a bop. What is the song really about?
So the song Something to Say is really about just upliftment and togetherness and speaking out, knowing who you are, never being afraid to speak out because we all have something to say, knowing that we are more in common than we actually realize. And it doesn't take just one group of people, it takes all of us. My favorite lyric is black and brown and yellow and white. Let's stand for something tonight. Like, it's a collective. We're here as a collective, as a human race. So yeah, there's a bigger purpose behind the song. You know, the music gets you up, but the lyrics actually are very serious.
Now, Micheala Jae, you know, this last administration, our community went through a lot. And so stand for something. There were people standing for something on the opposite side of our fence and actually against us and hurting us. How do we build bridges with them now that things have calmed down a little bit? Or do we even try, or do we just work on making our community stronger?
I think most importantly, we have to keep trying. I think there are some people out there who just don't have the education and who don't mean any harm. We know the people that mean harm. It's been very prevalent to us, and now it's everywhere. We see it now more than we have ever. So now we know those specific people we distance ourselves from, but the people who are actually willing to learn and who are willing to understand and who are really willing to getting into our lives and our story, we should give them just a little bit of grace too. And then if they meet us with something like, oh, well, that's just not what I'm here for, well, then we obviously know where we should go. We should separate ourselves from them too. But I still think there's a space for everyone on this earth for understanding. And not every person on this planet has understanding of the human condition, right? But there are some of us who so happen to be in the LGBTQAI community, who so happen to be in the Black and POC community, who happen to be in the white community, who actually do understand the human condition and see the bigger picture and why we deserve to be together. So with those people who've been creating those legislations and who have been deeming us something that we're not, you know, you can keep doing what you're doing, but we're not going anywhere, and we're going to keep fighting. And we're beating the stereotypes. We're stepping up and fighting up against the stigmas. We are literally here, and we are not going nowhere.
Girl, you are so beautiful. Now you started acting very early, professionally, like around 11. You studied at New Jersey Young Theater Program. Was your family supportive of you being in the entertainment industry early on?
Yeah, believe it or not, my mom was one of the main driving forces of why I'm in the music industry today. When I was 11 years old, she put me into a program called New Jersey Performing Arts Center. Newark, New Jersey, all day, Brick City. Just wanted to throw that out there. And yeah, my mom just made sure she was adamant with me. She made sure that she kept my energy focused, and she saw that I had a knack and a love for the arts, especially music. So she just kept me diligent in it.
it really
And
sent
my
chills
dad
down
as
my.
well. Sorry about that. My dad,
Yeah.
both of my dads are highlights too. They made sure, and they also protect me. So anybody try me, it's gonna be a problem. Ooh.
Now, what aspects of your family heritage are you the most proud of?
My heritage as far as like ethnicity, or
Yes.
heritage as far, okay, well, heritage as far as ethnicity and culture, I'm proud of both. I love being an Afro Latina woman. I love being Black, and I love being a Latina. I feel like, there's pieces of my community that have showed up in ways that I never thought before, and that was due to my insecurity. That was due to me already building a shield up for myself, because I know what the world is capable of. I know what humans are capable of, and I'm not exempt from that. So with me knowing I'm not exempt from that, I also channel that to other humans on this earth. But I'm very proud of being Black, Latina, and possibly many other things out there. You know what I mean? I don't know my full background, but it's empowering to be an Afro Latina woman in this time, and also to be a trans woman at that, and just, living my truth. So yeah, I'm happy with both. And I stand for every part of my communities, my culture.
I love it. It sent chills down my spine when I saw you perform Audrey in Little Shop of Horrors, especially singing Suddenly Seymour. We have heard that song in every revival, every karaoke bar, every sing-along, every, cabaret.
Mhm.
Seeing you perform it on the Late Late Show was so moving and inspiring. It was so different. It was fresh. How did you approach doing that role and that song in particular? Vocal keys were changed, energies were changed. It was something so new. How did you approach that role?
Oh, I mean, I was very nervous at first because, as you said, vocal keys were changed, and I was still in this phase of like comfortability with my voice and how people receive my voice, and in all different facets of it. So that came into play. Once I got over that, the main focus was really representing all women. Like, no one has ever gotten a chance to play Audrey, who is trans and Afro Latina. So I wanted to speak for every single last person who is within those intersections, who is Black, who is Latina, who is trans, or who's Asian, or who's a white woman that doesn't feel like she's the stereotypical blonde woman who has to feel inferior or has to be considered dumb because she's blonde. Like, I wanted to
Yeah.
break down those barriers. And I feel like the only way to do that was to go into that role. And now any woman who goes into that role, whether she be cis or trans, she's not going to go into it uh, thinking that she has to be this character or this caricature, excuse me. She can go in there with the story of this woman who is fighting and who has been battered and who has been broken, but finds herself through someone who actually sees her, which is Seymour. And that's one of the reasons why Suddenly Seymour was one of my favorite moments too, because it was speaking to myself. Like, those words spoke to me as a woman of the trans experience. And if it spoke to me, then I know it spoke to all of those women out there who were looking at me, who possibly knew or didn't know that I was trans, but saw me and understood. So yeah, it was amazing.
Now we're celebrating the 25th anniversary of Rent, and Rent was your off-Broadway debut, playing
Mhm.
Angel. What did you learn from the character Angel that you incorporated into your own life?
I learned from Angel, and what I incorporated from her is that she lives every day as if it was her last. And I live my days like every single day, like if it were my last. I live. She taught me that. And what a strong individual that person was, simply bearing and dealing with the onslaught of HIV and AIDS at that time. Like, that was empowering to me. And I mean, the death of her was very emotional to me, but the fact that her spirituality, her energy was left through all of these strong characters, this strong ensemble, it made me want to have to leave that kind of legacy. It made me want to have to leave that kind of impression on people when I'm gone. Like, this is what you need to do, what you need to keep doing. You
Mhm.
need to give love, and sometimes when people are down, get them up, make them happy, so yeah.
Um, were you ready for all the attention that Pose was going to bring?
No,
Did you have
child,
any idea?
I was not ready for all of it. I mean, I was ready for the work of it all. I was ready for the professionalism of it all. I
Right.
was ready to get down and dirty into an industry that I had already been ready to be a part of, but I didn't know that it was going to get the extreme reception that it got. I was insecure. I was worried that the world was going to talk about us and, deem us something other than, what the world usually does with people or individuals that they have no understanding of. And I was fooled. I was proven wrong. The world instead, or most of the people of the world, show nothing but love. So, yeah.
What did you learn most? Well, and actually, you actually learned ballroom at the age of 14. You got involved in the ballroom scene at such a young age, and your house father taught you how to vogue. How did you get involved so young in life?
So, believe it or not, my house father at the time, he was coming to my school and he was teaching fashion shows. And I was already voguing at high school already. I was already with my friends and we were having battles in the cafeteria. When I was a senior, we had all of this stuff. We were voguing down. And, but I just remember him seeing me at a fashion show and I did like this kind of like arm crack behind my back. And he was like, that's my daughter right there. And next thing I know, my two colleagues from school and this other girl named Twitty, we went to rehearsals and the rest just went on from there.
What did you learn most about your acting from doing Pose?
I feel like what I learned most importantly about my acting from Pose is just preparation. I'm not saying that I wasn't, because I was very prepared because I was a perfectionist and a workaholic, but preparation is key in order for you to deliver the scene like how it needs to, especially when it's about other people's lives. And Blanca was a collection, Electra, Angel, Candy, Lulu. They were collections of women who were living in that time. So for me, I learned that I had to give homage and make sure I did and make sure that the words on the pages were given justice and homage.
And what did you learn about yourself from doing Pose?
What I learned about myself, I'll say this. What I learned about myself is that Blanca taught me to be a strong woman, a grown woman, a leader. And, I don't know how I'm leading, but I know I'm doing it. And I live freely, I live autonomously, but I also live with direction. I make sure that I have a set direction, a set purpose. I don't know what my purpose is, but I know there's a purpose. And I feel like that's what I've learned from Pose, is that there's a purpose and it may be bigger than you, but you got to just follow it. So I'm following it.
I thought I was very well schooled on our history and the AIDS epidemic, but even from watching the show, which inspired me to do more research on my own, it shocked me to learn some of the details and struggles of our community during that time period. What did you learn most about that time that shocked you, during your research and preparation for the show?
What shocked me most is that, it didn't shine a light on trans women of color actually having this disease. And for me, I was just so sad about that, because I was like, well, I can only imagine how many women wanted some kind of outsource, wanted some kind of place to go to, but they didn't have it because they weren't being seen as much as even the gay community. And that's no shade to the gay community, but it's the truth. There were trans women who were not seen. It was, at the time, I remember they were considering it, the white man's disease, gay man's disease. And then, the more research came out and they started just sticklering it to just gay men in general, when not realizing that it actually was a disease that affected everyone and that everyone needed the care and everyone needed help when it came to that disease. So I learned a lot when Pose shed a light on that.
Tell me about the last day of filming. What was going through your mind?
That I didn't want to stop.
Yeah. I think all of us were shocked when they announced that it was the last season. We were like, what? We're not ready.
I know. I'm not going to lie. I mean, I knew that there was definitely another chapter for me. I knew that I wanted to pursue other ventures in my life, but I did not know that it would happen so quickly. But I will say it was beautiful. It was emotional. It was endearing. And more than anything, I feel so strong and empowered. So the last day, I just cried tears of joy.
What was one of the funniest moments from filming those 3 seasons that you can remember, that it's a memory that just comes to your mind and you're like, that was a crazy day?
Oh, well, child, listen, MJ's got a whole bunch of those, and I'm sure some of the cast members got a whole bunch of those too, because MJ was a fool on that set outside of Blanca. Michaela was a fool, just energy. So I'll say this one part. So Angel's wedding, it was a big day, beautiful day, but a huge day. We worked long hours that day. And MJ didn't lose no energy until like 2 o'clock in the morning. So I remember me just twirling with this like kind of, I don't know if you saw the dress, but it had like a shawl all the way back down. I was twirling with that in front of everybody, and everybody was just chill and relaxed, and me, my silly self, just twirling. And I remember my good friend, he's the makeup artist on the show. He was like, "Girl, if you don't sit down, could you just sit down, girl?" And I was like, "No." Oh, just like,
Girl, every girl lives for their wedding day. Are you kidding? Of course
right,
you're going to drag it out and celebrate.
right. I was twirling that thing.
So coming up in Loot with Maya Rudolph, we get to
Mhm.
see a comedy side. It must be, as an actor, it must be refreshing to know that coming off of this very heavy, important show, we get to see that funny side of Micheala Jae,
Yes.
that, you work your chops, especially with Maya Rudolph. I mean, I couldn't think of a more perfect duo. Tell me about kind of getting to that comedy side of your acting.
Well, yeah, I mean, I've always wanted to just delve into comedy. I knew I had that kind of like little knacks, and I knew that I had the ability to really just take it on full on, take it on head on. And when I found out that it was Maya Rudolph that was going to be in it, I just felt safe. I felt like this is the perfect woman
Safe.
to be. Yes, like not safe as far as like safe industry wise, but safe with
Right.
her as a human
Yeah.
being, safe with her with protecting me in that space and just being comforting. And she's been in the business for so long. I feel like I'm someone that's going to be under her wing. Like, and I can't wait. I cannot wait until I play next to her and we get to just like delve into these two different characters, totally different character from Blanca. And yeah, the world gets to see it. They get to see this whole story.
Oh, I'm so excited. I was also very excited to know about your relationship with comic books. Your stage name is actually from Marvel Comics. For those that don't know, character Mary
Yes.
Jane from Spider-Man. You also made history as Sister Boy on the TV show Luke Cage, marking the first appearance of both a transgender actress and character in the Marvel universe. When did your love of comics first kind of start?
I feel like my love of comics started when I was a child. Like I
Mm.
was a kid. My uncle got me actually hooked into comics. Actually, Luke Cage, which was kind of insane that you mentioned that because Luke Cage was like one of his comics that he
Wow.
had stacked up in his closet. And I was just sneaking into his room and stealing his comic books. And after a while, I had already known how to draw, so I was like, I'm gonna just start drawing and creating characters that I think best represent me or who I felt more resonant with. One of them was obviously Storm because she was the first Black woman to be in a comic book. They need to embellish on her story a little bit more. Just letting y'all know.
Hello.
Um, but like, yeah, I just feel like he was the one that got me hooked onto it, and I just stayed with it.
Um, Looking back from where you started, this young kid studying theater, now looking at the presence that you have as an activist, as an actress, as a singer, you look at your social media. I mean, having such a strong voice, did you have any idea that you would come so far in a relatively short time and you would have such a big voice for our community?
Well, in a short time, I don't think that I knew, but I did have an understanding of what I wanted to do and what I felt my purpose could have been at a very young age. I wanted to be someone who was changing and helping and pushing forward, and also just being truly and completely immersed in the arts. And boy, was I just surprised that it happened the way it did. And I'm glad that it's going to stay that way. I'm really excited. I'm blessed. I'm filled with love. And I want to constantly keep instilling that in people, and it just feels good. I know I never dreamed it to happen so quickly, but the fact that it did, it just showed me that I have worth, and people are looking to me now, and I'm glad because I'm gonna be the example, or at least I'm gonna try. I always say that, I'm gonna try to be the example as best as I can. I'm human.
Well, in a short time, we talk about the success of Pose, but it doesn't betray these years and years of training. Berklee School of Music,
Oh yes.
so you've been at it for a long time. I just have to know, what was your least favorite class at Berklee Music School?
Oh my God. So my least favorite class was theory. That thing was
I
hard.
hear that.
Theory is so
It's
hard.
awful.
It's like math, and it's crazy, but I passed. Thank God. When I passed, I was like, can't nobody tell me nothing. Ain't no jazz artist can tell me nothing, because jazz musicians, they are serious in theory. But yeah.
I have to tell you, the behind the scenes of Say Something was released. We saw you behind the scenes of your music video. It filled me with such joy, and it gave me such hope. Not only to see you excel in yet another form of entertainment that we all get to see now, but to see the absolute joy on your face and to see you own it like the queen that you are. It filled me with tears, with happiness, and really with hope. Like I said, this last administration has been shit for us, and I see the leaders and I see the light at the end of the tunnel. So I thank you for that. And this last question is for social media. From the lyrics from your song, Something to Say, you say, I have something to say. So what would you like to say right here, right now, in this moment?
I got something to say, and this is what I'm going to say. Dear babies out there all across the world, no matter if you're cis or if you're trans or if you're a part of any type of culture or community, keep being you, keep loving you, keep pushing. Never let anyone tell you that you don't deserve to live or exist, because you do. You have a purpose on this earth, and I am testament to it. And if ever you feel that you are at a falter, or if you feel that you don't deserve to be here, look to me. I promise I'll be there.
I love you so much. Tell everybody where you want them to find you and follow you.
So everybody, if you're listening to this and enjoying, please follow me on my Instagram page. It's MJ Rodriguez 7. It's also under Micheala Jae on Twitter as well, on Facebook. And please check out my song, download it, stream it, pretty please. I'm sure you'll enjoy it. And I have more content coming out as well as the EP.
I couldn't thank you more for spending such time with us, because I know you have a busy day today. Go take a nap.
Listen, I'm probably not going to take no nap. I'm probably going to go out and enjoy. I'm happy that I'm having these moments. It doesn't happen for the girls. So this is a blessing. This is a blessing. I'm here with you, and it's a blessing.
Thank you so much. Go enjoy the rest of your day, and happy Pride 2021.
Happy Pride, yes.
All right, that has been my chat with Micheala Jae Rodriguez. Love her so much, so much. You can read my in-depth interview with her in our latest issue of Metro Source, or go to metrosource.com. And that's our episode. I'm your host and lead writer for Metro Source, Alexander Rodriguez. You can find me on Instagram at AlexanderIsOnAir. Until next time, stay true and do you, boo. That has been another MetroSource Mini. Like, share, and subscribe on your favorite podcast player, and check out the latest issue of MetroSource magazine on newsstands or online at metrosource.com. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram at MetroSource, and on Twitter at MetroSourceMag. Until next time, stay fabulous.